This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Man United we're talking about.
This is Manchester 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 United we're talking about.
Oh, this is Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Manchester United we're talking about. Manchester United we're talking about here.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
I mean, this is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Man United we're talking about. It's Man United we're talking about. It is Man United we're talking about. It's Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Man United we're talking about. This is Man United we're talking about.
It's Manchester United we're talking about.
We're talking about Manchester United.
Yes, people, this is Man United we're talking about. I don't know if you noticed. Big up to anyone that's in here, anyone that raided over from NAF, which that, let's call it a healthy skirmish. So yeah, big up anyone. Smash the likes. I even put that in a poll. I usually do it so people are reminded how to do it and whatnot. So have you smashed the likes is the question. Also, we got a little bit of, well, you know what? Let's be honest, you lot have seen all the stuff in it. Mbeumo's not imminent. Same old as always. I'm not going to lie. I nearly crashed out in my own bed earlier when I woke up and saw that. I was vexed. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. If I was on stream at that time at 9 a.m., I would have crashed out. And you know what, to make it worse here, I knew this was coming, and I said, I remember in the whole Discord chat, if anyone wants the Discord, let me know, right? Unless your name's Raheem. But I always said, yeah, I expect the Jackson links to come and be an option. I do believe he's Villa bound or Italy bound. Villa just seems like the overall place for him. Didn't Emery, I don't know if he managed him before, but I've got this whole feeling that he just seems like the player to only replace Watkins if Watkins is to leave. But there's that interest. Højlund, Inter Milan don't want him no more. Shock. He looks like he's staying, lads. We've got another season of Højlund, unless there's someone that comes in for a loan. Does anyone want him moving on loan? I do wonder. Chelsea want Garnacho, which is a positive, which came out earlier from the Athletic. What's his name? Simon Philip Sport, whatever his name is anyways, that guy. So that is actual interest, but they also want Rodgers, which can kind of complicate stuff because imagine Rodgers going one way, Jackson goes the other way. Who wants Garnacho then? No one. So there's a lot of different bits and bobs to kind of talk about and a lot of stress as well as a United fan. So it's actually really pissing me off. I'm actually getting to the point now where, and I know I'm trying to be relaxed, but I'm getting to the point where my fuse is going to go in it. And I see that there's a lot of Man United fans frustrated, but I'm really getting frustrated. I don't know what's going to happen beyond this week with Mbeumo, because let's start with that. You probably saw David Ornstein coming out earlier saying there's no imminent bids or anything that's happening. United are happy to stay on their stance, but the whole negotiation's been nothing but short of shit. The thing is, right, you know, again, I'm going to have to say it. You know, I'm all for Ineos, but at the moment, it seems very bleak. You know, you're not exactly backing the manager. You're not even backing the club. So which one is it? Because Mbeumo doesn't smell like just the Amram kind of sign. You think, yeah, that's healthy for the club, right? You talk about getting the best in class. You told us that in January. And you talk about getting this all sorted for the, you know, the summer window back in January, you know, getting these players, these people in positions, making footballing decisions. But I'm not exactly seeing that. The thing is, when you're going like 44, 45 days, right, nearly 2 months into this whole situation with this whole Mbeumo bullshit, right? It's like, cool, I'm going to go into this negotiation being stubborn. I hear you're trying to send a message that you're willing to be stubborn, but this smells like Frankie de Jong all over again. And I'm growing kind of tired of all this bullshit because you're looking at the market and you're seeing said X, Y, and Z player going for set amounts, and that only strengthened Brentford's position. Brentford are, by the way, if people don't know this, right? If people don't know this, Brentford are about to get a 400 million buyout. And that only means that there's going to be somewhat money to be invested into the club. I don't know whether it's infrastructure or maybe the team. It does need a bit of a revamp if it wants to survive, but Brentford are that club, had barely anything going on for them, got a brand new stadium. Everything was just like Brighton-ish, and they're becoming a proper footballing club that's stable in the Premier League. You know, respectfully, this isn't like Barcelona. This isn't Real Madrid that we're negotiating with. It's not any of those. It's fucking Brentford, and I am swearing because I'm getting pissed off. I'm quite relaxed, but I'm getting pissed off. Put the flipping money up. It's not, I don't look at it as a losing battle because right now, Ineos are in a losing situation, if anything, right? The way I view it is, cool. If you walk away from these negotiations after, how long? 6-7 weeks. You look like a prat. 6 weeks, right? You look like an absolute imbecile and it shows that you're weak. And now if you go into this being stubborn, then I don't think any club's going to take you serious because it's taking you 6-7 weeks knowing that you're going to fold. Either way, you're going to fold or you're going to walk away and you're going to look like an idiot. I don't get this because if you're going to go into negotiations, being stubborn's one thing, and I understand that, right? You know, you got to do what you got to do. We can't do anything until, I don't know, said players are to leave the club, right? And we don't even know what's happening on that front. We're all in the dark. We're all in the dark. So you can't do nothing. Cool. But at least have a B option, right? If Mbeumo's not to go, if you want to push Brentford all the way, knowing that they're going to play the game and they're being dirty with it, and fair play, we've seen that Mbeumo is attitude or something along the lines of his behaviours. I don't know what Laurie Whitwell exactly said. Something about he's been disgruntled in training and it's appearing quite obvious that he's not happy. It could play into Man United's hands, but unless he asks directly to move, and he said he wants to join United already, but unless it's publicly played out, then you're going to make Mbeumo look like a top idiot, aren't you? You're gonna make him look like a prat, and I don't think I want that for him because he seems like a very humble character. So I don't want United playing dirty in that front. I think Brentford, what they've asked for, whether it's 63, 65 million, I think they're within their rights. You know, they know that United's got the money, right? They always had the money all along. And then now you've got incomings of Elanga, Alvaro, Oyedele, who got confirmed today. They know there's extra funds there, so there's no hiding behind that. It's not exactly a United tax for paying up 63 million. But when you're not negotiating for a second player, in terms of, I don't know who you lot can give me suggestions, right, on the right wing. If you're not negotiating with another club, a bit like how Andrea Bert has done stuff, then you're not exactly pushing Brentford all the way to say, oh, if they don't, we might lose out on, I don't know, 60 million on Mbeumo, 62.5 million for what we bid, because they might go and get the other player. So you're not exactly putting a lot of pressure on them. Bearing in mind, this could just all be done out. Like, we got a kit launch tomorrow, I believe. And it's like, I'm thinking about it. It's not exactly the right time, is it? It's not the mood. But you know, in United, we're so shameless that you're still going to do it, even though we ain't got no one in the door bar Cunha. So again, I am getting a little bit, a small touch worried, because tomorrow, nothing's going to be said. Later on the Thursday, probably nothing's going to be said. Friday, who knows? Saturday, who knows? We got the game on Sunday, I think, against Leeds, and then we drive out to America. God forbid that we ever go there ever again after this season. But again, it's so flipping slow. It's so slow. So when we want to move on to the next target, aka maybe the Ollie Watkins of the world, which has been said by Laurie Whitwell last week, how long are we going to take to do that? Because I don't know how great Aston Villa are in negotiations or how much money they need, but there's a few players that are wanted by other clubs. Jacob Ramsey, right? He's wanted by Nottingham Forest. Morgan Rogers. If Chelsea decide to go down that route, then that's going to be a big negotiation with them as well. They might not want to sell Watkins. They might lose, two out of three of their biggest players in their squad. They lose Jacob Ramsey, their PSR's through the roof. Who gives a crap, right? Because he'll go for a nice fee. And then you look at Morgan Rogers. He's only been there for a year. I can't exactly see him move at this moment in time, but if Chelsea come knocking, considering the position they're in, I can see maybe Morgan Rogers saying, I want to leave. He doesn't have no loyalties towards Aston Villa. It'll be a hefty price. It'll be a good 80 million. Maybe they want 100 million. It might be priced out to the point that says, okay, we're going to decide that we're going to go and get a left winger. End of the day, United are not in a strong position at this moment of time when it comes to negotiations in any shape, way, form, or capacity. And you're looking like absolute idiot. Now, when the financial reports come out, again, to know that we might be even in more debt, do you know what that's going to send? That's going to send shockwaves through the whole fan base if that's true, if we're in more debt. Imagine Ratcliffe coming in and we're in more debt. How does that work? And I know you got to fix the solution. You got to spend money to make money and all this kind of stuff. But you're talking about this project of a new stadium and this, that, da. Right now, after this summer, there's going to be real judgment. And I don't know. Look, it could even mean we get Mbeumo through the door. It could even mean we go get all our targets. That's great. On the pitch, we need to know, yeah. But what about our club that we love and support? What's going on with our club? Because the more debt that's in, you can't keep ignoring it. I know United's a cash cow and it's a machine and it runs itself. But at this point, I'm like, look, are you going to take full control of this? Because all these ticket prices that are going up, hurting the fans, hurting the pockets. You know, when it comes to traveling, even for fans down south, let alone from other countries, it's a hefty fine to pay just to watch bollocks. So that smells like a Glazer thing to me, not a Ratcliffe thing. I reckon that's the buddies upstairs saying, well, we want some more money for our dividends eventually because they will get paid out. That's the way it smells. That's the way it's coming across. You know, I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is actually you know, when it comes to this whole putting up ticket, I don't think it's down him. When I've been told all along, no, there's certain decisions because it's been well documented that one of the, who's it, the Glazer, the Joel Glazer that likes to be heavily involved with certain decisions and whatnot. This is what happens. Either get the fucking club by the neck or fucking sell up. It's as simple as that. Because shit like this just can't run. If we're in more debt, I'm going to lose my fucking rag. And I know it's not your money. It's my club, though, because I support them. So what are you doing? That's what I'm saying. And it's not over the whole Mbeumo deal, but it's involved. You put two together. This is what happens when your club's in debt. You can't move for anything because there's so much transfer there. I'm starting to think at this point, look, I don't want to be a toxic negative fan, but I have to spout my nonsense so I can feel better. Yeah. But why did you take on the role of investment and the whole thing if you can't even afford to pay off all the debt? Chelsea's debt got wiped. And look what they can do or what they have done at the moment. Might not have been pretty at the start, but at least they had no debt. That 2 billion was gone. Or whatever it was. It's at this point, what was the whole picture? The debt's like 800 million. It's stupid. And now we can't move for players. Simple 60 million. It seems, I'm not going to lie, it just seems a little bit too much. And now you have to start questioning. But it's still too early. We'll see what happens after this financial report comes out, because I did get notified about that yesterday as well. And simple as that. Let's see what players come in. Let's see what happens on the pitch. Because if nothing goes well on the pitch, we're not getting rid of no debts. It's as simple as that. So I'm getting a little bit worried, not just for the team on the pitch, but for going off the scenes as well. Because then that means next summer, we're going to barely have any cash again. If the season doesn't go absolutely fantastic to a T where you're back in Europe, you're getting new sponsorship for your training, because we need a new sponsorship for that, and all this renewal with ABC said sponsors, it's looking a little bit Van der Peeken. It's looking like AC Milan. That's how it's coming across. It's really like AC Milan. And they went really in the dumps. They were the Giants and they went to shit. So yeah, look, I won't judge it just now, but I have got concerns. Sorry, but it is linked with the Mbeumo stuff. Because I just know if United were in a healthy position, that Mbeumo for 63 million would have been snapped up. Maybe it would have been 60 million up front and then so forth. I don't know, but you're seeing all these other clubs moving so fast, so quick. I'm seeing even fucking Tottenham move quick. Do you understand Tottenham? Since when do Tottenham move quick for transfers? For Kudus. Kudus was 55 million. And I know he's not a goal-scoring machine like Mbeumo, but his qualities are outstanding. You put him in a better side, he's going to do even better. So that's what I'm trying to come across with. Where was the other option? Why did you not make your put your name in the hat for Kudus? Why? Who's actually doing all the stuff that's in certain roles? Like, I want to know names. Head's got a role, man. I'm being serious. It's really looking bleak, and I don't want to be negative, but I have to be at the moment. I'm sorry. You like me when I'm all doing this positivity stuff because that's naturally who I am. But on the other front, this is what you're going to get too. I just don't like blind faith all the time. So yeah, it is break right now. This window is really breaking me because it is super slow. Not like we're not used to that, but it is a bit mad. It is a bit mad. We'll see what happens. We got told this week we're expected to see Mbeumo come through the door. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens there. Make sure you smash the likes as well. So please, I don't know what likes we're on. Anything will be appreciated. What's this? Okay. Don't know what that is. Anyways, but we're on 85 likes. We're nearly on 100, 14 likes more. And I know there's loads of you in here. Big up for the support recently as well. Again, schedules out there. Look, this is my times. The morning, I'm not going to lie, the hot weather. When it's quite warm, I can't get up in the morning, man. I mean, I go bed a little bit later than I want to because it's that warm sometimes. Takes a little while. But I will eventually go into the morning streams during the season, hopefully. But everything's at night at the moment. It's hilarious how shit Ineos are, though. I can't lie. At the moment, yeah. At the moment. Not selling Bruno. This is where I'm going. You know what? Daps reminded me of this in the Never a Foul show. And again, this is where you put your money where your mouth is. Let's see how correct you are. Now, I don't know if it's about United not having money. I think United do have the money, and I do think there's a lot of lies going on through the fan base, things that get leaked. There's certain things where you're not even looking at the right accounts. People, it's all guesswork around United at the moment. And I think a lot of even journalists are scrambling, which is a good thing, I suppose, because the less they know, the less leaks are going out, the more they can conduct their business however they want to do it, right? So cool. Do your thing. Don't mind it. It's still frustrating because we're content creators. We want to make content. And we can only do that through rumors, stories, facts, blah, 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 blah. But United do have the money. So this whole, we're going to have to wait for sales to get Mbeumo over the line is a lot of bullshit, let alone some other players. United's got enough money to go and even go get Richard Rios right now as well on top of that. Like, don't be fooled. This sell to buy would never ever work, and it never works at top clubs. You go do your business first and then sell later. That's how it always works. And if something goes through the door through the summer, then that's it. But United can go and do that. But then you have to, as confident as I am in talking about that, but it's like, okay, if United need to sell to buy, then why didn't you sell Bruno? Bruno would have left, yeah. And I know, look, there's a lot of you that love Bruno, but I'm Manchester United first. I'm not Bruno FC. I'm sorry, but you might have to sell your best player so you go get a bunch of very good players in other positions. If you was going to get 100 million for him, if you said that he can leave and you want him to leave, he would have left. He would have left. But you said, no, we don't need the money. They reassured him. So now, again, this summer, prove it. Because I would like to see Bruno ball out with better players. I want to see if, you know what, all this time, I was super wrong about Bruno Fernandes. He just needed quality around him to shine even more, and less responsibility comes his way. Fine. Let's see that. But it's a little bit, do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like, well, if you really do need the money so you can go further forward in the league, then we'll see who's right and let's see who's wrong. And I don't care about point scoring at all, but 100 million pure profit seemed like it was going to be a bit more of a, you know, oh, look what we can do this window type thing. So we'll see about that part. Moving on. This whole Chelsea, dealing with Chelsea, I can't stand it. I don't want to do it. They mug off everyone that comes into their paths. They're transfer kings. I knew the Jackson rumors were going to come about, a little bit like the Calvert-Lewin rumors was going to come about. It is quite confirmed, and I don't blame United even having him on the list because there's a lack of strikers. Prem proven, right? Cool. It's not just United that are interested in. We're just a name. It wasn't specifically Man United. There was Liverpool in that as well. There was Italian teams in there. There was some German teams in there. There's a lot of teams that do or would like him. The issue is Chelsea's price is quite hefty. They're asking for something along the lines of 80 million. I think they were asking for something stupid. United can't afford 80 million. But don't be fooled by that. Chelsea would sell him for 50 to 60 million if they can. They just sold Madueke to Arsenal for 52. It's just who's stupid enough to put that money up. United don't actually have that much money to put up for him. But I said it yesterday. If Jackson was to get swapped for Garnacho, I'm taking it because Jackson starts for us and he makes our team better. It's not the solution, obviously not, but he makes our team 100 times better. But I don't want United going out there saying that's our option, that's the one we're going to go for. When you got Ollie Watkins, who's the same price, a lot older, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he offers way more than Jackson does. But United wanting Jackson is nothing new. You know, anytime there's a striker that's available in the market, we're going to get linked. Whether they're free agent or not, we're going to get linked. They could cost 89 million, we're going to get linked. It's unrealistic. I'm not going to say no to Jackson because, well, Man United and Chelsea clearly have some sort of working relationship beforehand. I heard Jim Ratcliffe and Todd B are quite good friends as well. So I don't exactly think that's a link I want to dismiss just because it's news I don't want to hear, right? But I do believe Chelsea end up selling him, and it's just about who's going to go for him first. I do believe he's going to end up at Aston Villa. It all depends on that if we can go and secure Ollie Watkins. If they know they got the replacement ready, then fine. I do believe he'll be an Aston Villa player, and they've done quite a lot of business with them recently. Disasi, whatnot, etc., etc. The young bucks as well, all there. They got something going on. It could be a Bermuda Triangle. If Chelsea truly want Garnacho, it could legit be a thing. Okay, the possibility of me seeing this as a scenario: Garnacho goes to Chelsea for said amount. Watkins then goes therefore to Man United for said amount, and then Jackson goes to Aston Villa for said amount. That means pretty much you inflate the price. Everyone's going to be pretty much profit on all sides, and everyone's really a winner. 60 million go, let's say 60, 55, 60 million. Let's say 55 million. 55 million that way, 55 million up, 55 million around. Again, we've seen that recently last year between Chelsea. Well, no, not Chelsea. Was it Aston Villa? I believe it was Forest. It might have been Chelsea as well, and Everton and Villa. Like, there was a few teams that done it last window. It's a way to get around PSR. It is. You can't say you don't want Garnacho because it came out today through The Athletic that you still want Garnacho. Don't deny it because you don't like to hear it. It's the same way me hearing about Jackson United. I'm not denying it because I don't want to hear it. There's a possibility your team, Chelsea, want either Morgan Rogers or a left winger in terms of Garnacho. It's stated. We just don't know which one you're going to move for. You're obviously going to say Morgan Rogers as a fan because you prefer Morgan Rogers. Everyone knows that Morgan Rogers has a lot more to offer than Garnacho. It all depends. It all comes down to Chelsea. But all I'm going to say is, right, with the whole Garnacho thing is, there's got to be a reason why Garnacho is sitting around waiting for something. Because why would you deny access through Leverkusen, through Napoli, and other clubs that want the guy's signature? Why is he sticking around in the Prem? One simple reason is because he's probably been promised something, right? By either one of the two clubs that came out a while ago now, a good 4 weeks ago. Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Tottenham. Tottenham not going to move for him. Whatever. Aston Villa, I think it can work. I think it can happen still. I do believe that, with the left mid, if let's say Morgan Rogers or let's say Jacob Ramsey, who plays off the left, if he is to leave, then maybe they go in for Garnacho, especially if United want Watkins. But in the same breath, you want one or the other. I think it'd be absolutely stupid to go for Garnacho if you're a Chelsea fan. I'll be honest. I don't know what or where he's going to play. He's going to be a great attacking threat. But do I believe he's even better than Jamie Gittins? Maybe. Bit of a different player, though. But in terms of what you got in terms of Neto and Cole Palmer that's playing on the wings, Garnacho is just going to be a bench player. I don't see why you'd move for him, but your club does weird things, so I'm not going to deny that. You'd be better to go for Morgan Rogers for, 25 million more the price. But then again, how much is Villa asking? Villa might ask for 100 million. They're not stupid, You're not paying 100 million. Cass, would you take Morgan Rogers? Yeah, in a heartbeat. Right now, for what we have, he's a little similar to Cunha, but I'll take him in a heartbeat. For me anyways, I think Morgan Rogers is heavily overrated. Some of you lot that talk about this guy like he's the best thing since sliced bread, or he's like the next coming of Dele Alli. He's nowhere near as good as that. I think he's a good player, but I think he's heavily overrated. He's just a gassed up Englishman at the end of the day. I just don't think he's all that. The guy, I take it. I'm not at this point. Take it. Who else is in there? You said Saeed. I didn't even see Saeed in there. So what are you on about? Where is it? Where's some of it? Ineos are allergic to wanting to improve, so get real and protest against Ineos. I'm not protesting no more. I've been to about 2 protests, right? And I have been to 2 protests. I'm telling you lot now, yeah. Protests don't work anymore. They don't work. And if you don't show up in a stadium with your season ticket, they'll take it away from you. You'll get banned. The only way you're going to get anything going is if you either deplete the whole stadium at a certain minute where it's coordinated, or you lock off the games. You have to hurt the pockets. Protesting outside a stadium. I don't know if any of you have actually seen game day protests, because it's always game day protests. Don't get me wrong. Show your heart. Amazing. But guess what? They're in there, in their offices, sipping their tea, not giving an absolute shit. The times of protests are gone. Because if anyone's been to United marches, there's been, 10,000 people marching? 8,000, 12,000? There's been loads. There's been loads. Shut off the mega store, great. Just for them to reopen it the next day doesn't do much because people are going to go back to the store. So what happens is the protest stops. They all go into the stadium, sit in their seats, chant Glazers out, and you're not with. I'm not saying it's wrong, but in my mind, you're not doing anything. You sit in your seats for the seat that you paid for, a line in your pocket, supporting a team that's absolute bollocks to watch anyways, and then that's that. And then that's that. That's the truth. Shouting like Joel Glaze is going to die is not going to do anything. We've been doing it for flipping how many years? He's not dying, is he? And like, I don't wish death on him either. It's just not it's not doing anything where they have to sell up. They're comfortable in America doing their own thing while Sir Jim Ratcliffe at this moment of time is their little, I don't know what you would call it, puppet. And they're getting controlled. So that's it. These guys delayed Mbeumo transfer until Elanga went to Newcastle. It's a bit stupid. Cass Target should empty the stadium. I'd say so as well. If you really want them out. But it's never going to happen. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen. If it's up to me, I'll sell our women's team. Again, it doesn't do anything. Selling our women's team will help our PSR out. Don't get me wrong. It might help us with a bit of cash as well, to be fair. But we don't have PSR issues. These lot that are in charge are confident that we don't need to sell our biggest assets, whether it's the women's team, Bruno Fernandes, or anybody else. We're struggling to get 35, 40 million for Marcus Rashford. We got told by our own fan base that Marcus Rashford is the next coming of fucking Christ, basically, and that he's doing wonders. What are we doing letting him go? He's our best player, blah, blah, blah. And so why do other players why do other teams not want to buy him then? Garnacho is meant to be the next Ronaldo. Whatever, man. Why no one buying him then? Why are teams not queuing up to go and buy him? God forbid he goes to Real Madrid, right? Come on, man. Stupidness. So stupid. Could do. That could be one thing, but then police gets involved and they'll eventually go. Same players, same season income and relegation battle. Club is done. I'm not gonna look, it's a bit more of a negative stream, I admit, but I'm not gonna jump the gun just yet. I'm just gonna say my frustrations and keep it as that. You know, with the whole Mbeumo stuff, like, yeah, it's frustrating because we want the transfer. I still believe it gets done, but right now that belief is starting to go a little bit less, because there's nothing brand new coming out United. You know what? To the point, we're barely even getting mad links like we were 4 or 5 weeks ago. We was getting linked to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? And now the links are going further and further down. You know, even with Ekatike going to Newcastle, I think their bid got rejected, right? But they're going to go back in for another bid. They sent a whole delegation party out there to go and get that sorted, and also Ekatike's agent is on it. Frankfurt are willing to do business. They put up a nice fee for him. It's probably going to happen, right? The succession. So that's one less striker that we can go and acquire. One less talent. And I don't mind it. I think we got someone in Xerxes. But I still think United moving for a striker next is something we shouldn't do, because I want a third player to come in. I don't think if you're going to go and target Watkins, Aston Villa know that you're not going in for no other striker. He's your only man. Same thing with Mbeumo. Brentford know that we're not going in for nobody else. There is no plan B. There's no plan C's. United are going for plan A and plan A only. Who's running this? If you're so confident we're going to get all of this done, why is it not done yet? I was listening to TalkSport, and I don't really like listening to TalkSport, and they were talking about this whole Mbeumo stuff as well, and you know, Ineos, a little bit on Ineos as well. Basically, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, best in class, they mentioned, and I mentioned that just 10 minutes ago. And Goldstein, he's a United supporter. Everything he was saying was spitting facts. I don't like listening to them because I think they go overboard, and I think they chat a lot of shit on TalkSport. That it should be called aggregator sport. It's there to get their clicks, right? And fair play. We do that online as well. We're basically the same basically as TalkSport, but obviously way less production, considerably less production. But with him, like, I'm thinking everything he was saying about Mbeumo, all it should take is one phone call, if not two. He mentioned one, but I think one's a bit stupid, right? You're going to need multiple. I don't think that's how it works. You're trading millions and millions of pounds. Really and truly, it's Brentford. Why is it taking that long? It's always going to be the question. Even when United get this over the line, I'm still going to be excited for Mbeumo. I'm putting myself in line that it gets done, and at that point, it's like, even when he gets done, it's like, but at what cost? Because all that time is money, and time is precious in this market. Again, at what point do we say to each other, like, that was a good deal? I can understand if it was 4 weeks, but it's 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks this Friday, if I'm correct. Is it 6 weeks this Friday? Mate, has anyone seen Mbeumo? Yeah, Jason Cundy. Is that his name? Jason Cundy or something like that? That's his name. So yeah, again, look, it's a bit of the same, but one thing I'm not going to do is do what Goldenmort does. No, I can't do that. Some elements, but his frustrations from what I see in clips of him, I think is way overboard. But again, I hate to say it. Look, at this moment of time, when he wants to talk properly, I have to agree with him as well. We're nearly halfway through the window, and we've got one signing in the door, and we haven't sold no one. Incompetence at its flipping highest. At its highest. Yeah, how do you lot think? By the way, keep smashing the like button, by the way. Big up for nearly 130 likes. If we can get this to 150, sick. But who's we? According to what? This is what I mean about you guys. It came out in The Athletic. Just because you don't want to hear it does not mean it's fake news. You lot, fucking hell, man. Yeah, make sure you smash the like button. By the way, Mons, is your stream up? Yes, it is. Spurs were linked to Kudu's 5 hours later. Exactly that. But anyways, 350 in the house. That must mean, right, 350 are going to go to the next stream. We're going to talk Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle, and probably Chelsea as well. So if any of you lot are here that are watching on time, hearing me do all my hand signals and shit, make sure we go and raid up. Wait, hold on. What? All right, we're going live. We're going live on Big Six Man right now.